Hey, what's up, everybody? This is BDF44 coming at you with another video. I know I said it every time, so I'm like, it's another one. You got another video coming. Here it is. So, Rondo. Rondo has signed with the Atlanta Hawks, leaving the Clippers at the altar. And I feel sad because he's not going to be a Laker just like everybody else, but I feel okay because this is something that's good for him. He's done his job here. We won a championship because of a great deal of what he did led to that championship. A great deal of what his contributions were led to us having this victory. I don't want that to be something that isn't stated here. We're going to make sure that people know. I don't think we win that chip without those contributions, especially in those playoffs and those finals. He played like an all-star for us. For whatever it's worth to you, those who thought Rondo was done, those of us, I didn't think he had a whole lot left in him either. But those who gave up on Rondo, Dallas and different places, Sacramento, where it didn't really work out. Yeah. Doe came through for us, and we won a championship. So now that he's reacclimated his status and his value in this league, you damn right he shouldn't be settling for no vets minimum. I'm kind of disappointed that Dwight settled for a vets minimum. I want my guys who just won the championship here to go on and get money for not only what they've done in this league, but for what they did for us, winning a championship, for what they did for themselves, and earning another championship to their belts, and won a first one for Dwight. I am very upset for him that he had to settle for $3 million. He's not a $3 million a year player this year. He's not. He should be making upwards of about $6 to $7 million this coming season. And I would like to see a couple years tacked onto that. He should be signing for 3 years, 23, something like that. He should be getting that kind of money right now. He's earned that. And I'm not saying that he would have gotten that from anywhere, but that's what he's earned with his play. And I just feel bad that he didn't get it. But Doe did get his money. I believe it said 2 years, 15 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. What's really cool is that he got some guaranteed years. He's going to be in the NBA regardless of what, with a contract for this season and next season. So big kudos, congratulations, and appreciation to Rajon Rondo for just basically being a coach on the court for us and for being with us through some of the tough times. People will forget that he was one of the first ones here. He and KCP, they were along for the ride with the kids. You know, remember we brought Rondo in for Zoe, so he's been here for a couple years now. But this previous season was obviously the most memorable, and we will not ever forget any of these folks on this championship. 1920 championship Laker team. That's never going to happen. We'll never forget a single soul on this team. But I'll tell you this. Moving forward, I look at what the Hawks got. It's hard to kind of digest some of the moves that have been made. I have to really sit down and come back to you guys. But to be honest with you, I think the Eastern Conference is doing a fantastic job overall. Just improving, you know, getting guys, not being afraid to spend a little money. This year, you'll see some bad contracts. I'm not going to lie. Gordon Hayward signed a very massive 4-year deal with the Hornets. It's a bad contract. Gallinaro signed a 4-year deal as well with the Hawks. Bad contract. I thought about the Jeremy Grant contract. It's not a great contract. I ain't going to say it's a bad contract because I think he's durable enough to play through it. But if he has issues with his injury issues, it's going to be a bad contract. You're looking at De'Aaron Fox. That contract is potentially very bad. So it's a lot of contracts out there that you're looking at and you're saying, this offseason, I know people were rushing, but you're locking yourself in, teams. Some of y'all been bad for a long time because of decisions that you continue to make, and mistakes that you continue to make with your free agency situation. And I know it's hard getting guys to come to your team. I know if you have a reputation for a bad team, that's going to drive the price up. And I think that's something that I'm glad I said because it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is official in terms of my observation being written in stone, but this is an observation that I've seen over the last just a couple days. The teams that suck are paying more for guys. And never before did I really think of it like that. Never really thought about it like that. But it's like these agents are tacking on extra money for the ineptitude of these franchises. That's what you're seeing. De'Aaron Fox would not have made 100 and whatever, 60 something, whatever they gave him, for that many guaranteed deals if this was, say, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Golden State Warriors, teams that have won recently, or at least have a history of winning, rather. I don't think you see them having to pay that much for certain players. A guy like De'Aaron Fox, I like De'Aaron Fox a whole lot. I would love to see him in a purple and gold before it's over with. And I think we're before his prime. He ain't even reached his prime, so you're betting on what he could be, and what he could be is a lot better than he is right now. And we believe that he will be there. And he's also one of those guys who have hyper speed, super gifted genetics that you can't teach, that goes beyond a basketball floor. He can just outrun most humans. And like I said, when you have players like that, I've said in the previous video, when you have players that have that special genetic, that special metrics, that all of that, you just have to value them a little more. So I recognize De'Aaron Fox is a superhuman speedster. So you're paying for those legs. you're not just paying for his skill set. You're paying for those legs. And you're also paying for the fact that you suck, Sacramento, to be completely honest with you. And for the fact that you're in a small market that no one would want to go to. That's what you're paying for. It's difficult to get out of those holes when the price tags on the talent that you draft is that high. Sometimes when they haven't been proven, like De'Aaron Fox. And then you look over at certain other guys and you say, well, why did they sign for that? And this guy settled for this. Trez is a prime example. Trez was a sixth man of the year who was on a championship caliber basketball team, even though they fizzled out. He was on a squad that was good, and he settled for less money. He came to the Lakers at a very affordable price. He could have demanded $20 million a year. He would have got it from somewhere like Charlotte and Detroit. If Trez wanted to go to any one of those teams, he could have got big boy money. If you see some of the stuff that's going on out there. Shooters, people are paying for shooters. Joe Harris is getting 4-year deals. Obviously, Gallinari is shooter. Shooters are getting paid, man. So that's another thing. I see the value of shooters are going up. And I don't disagree with that, with the spacing issues that we tend to have. Centers who are perfectly healthy being sat for a whole playoff series at a time just simply because they can't shoot a ball. Like, that kind of stuff would never have happened 10 years ago. Now you're seeing that, and it's being reflective in the price tags of some of these players. So if you're a young player out there, no matter what your skill set is, shoot a lot of threes, dude. Take some time, just like you shoot your free throws. I would encourage you to shoot your threes. Have that same mentality. Don't leave the gym till you toss up a certain amount, because at this point, even if you're a center who doesn't have that type of game, what you do want to be is a threat to stretch the floor. And if you can't hit that shot, I don't care how great of a rebounder you are, I don't care how tall you are, I don't care how dominant you can be in the paint. And it's been like this probably for about 10 years, so this is not a revelation to anyone. You're probably not going to get the most out of your career if you can't shoot the three anymore. Like, it's just that bad now. It's just that bad. It's gotten that bad. If you can't shoot a three, you're just going to make less money, period. So I would encourage all the young players, go shoot your threes. Anyway, with that being said, I'm excited. NBA season's around the corner. I think some teams are going to get a lot better. I think some teams got a lot worse. The Clippers got a lot worse, man. They got to make a trade. They got to make a trade. I'm sorry. If we're going to talk about teams and who's doing what, the Clippers are taking some of the biggest. They're taking big L's in this offseason. I do not mind the trade that landed. What's the gentleman's name from Detroit? I can't think of his name. Oh, I hate when this happens. But they got rid of Landry Shamet, who to me was not really living up to his potential in the Clipper uniform. He had played better for Philly. He had played better in the past. And he just wasn't able to get it for Doc. But I think he'll be much better in Brooklyn. And if that's where he went, I think that's where he went. But, yeah. In this situation here, it's like, okay, well, what are the Clippers going to do? Because they don't have a point guard yet. They lost Montrez, so all they have at the center position is Zubats. They picked up the guy from Detroit that I'm talking about who can score a lot, and he's headed in the right direction like a De'Aaron Fox. His trajectory is high, and you're paying for what he's going to be, not for what he's done. Although he did have what you would consider a breakout season last year offensively in a limited situation because that team wasn't doing anything. So I do expect that we'll see much better play out of Luke Kennard going forward on the offensive end. The problem is, and this is not something coming from firsthand knowledge, I'm just listening to what the Detroit Pistons fans have been saying. reading feeds and just listening to our random opinions, most of the people that I've read, they said they did not like having Luke Kennard on the team because even though he scored 25 points, or rather, even though he scored like 20 points or 18 points, he's giving up 25. Is basically what the guys were saying. That's what everybody was telling me. He's a bad defender. He's not just a below average defender. He's bad. So, and they don't have Doc in place. It's Ty Lue, and Ty Lue's Cleveland team, if we remember correctly, was very bad defensively. In fact, it was one of the worst defensive teams LeBron played on, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Because he's going to have a significant role. And if he can't guard, oh boy, Clippers are getting worse by the second. Still have Paul George, still have Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if you want to go into the season with Paul George. I would consider trading him for a bunch of stuff, man. I know that wouldn't make Kawhi happy, but I don't care because Kawhi's on a contract that's going to be up in about 5 minutes. And I have a strong belief that he's not going to stay with you. In fact, he may mess around and pull a Trez and come down to Hall. I don't see that happening, but the point is, he has no reason to want to leave Los Angeles and has no reason to want to stay on the Clippers. So what does that tell you? I'm just saying, Kawhi Leonard don't think like the rest of us. Most human beings would be shamed. Their ego would be touched by all this talk about what this, that, and the third. I'm almost certain Kawhi Leonard just wants to hit a basketball court and shoot some basketballs. Like, I don't think he even cares what you're thinking. I don't even think he's aware of what we're thinking most of the time. And if he were aware, I don't think it would affect him the way it would affect someone like myself. You can't shame this dude. He has none. He showed us that when he did what he did last summer. So if the Clippers think he's above turning his back on them and leaving them and going down the hall or going back to Toronto or something like that, you're fooling yourselves. Because I think it's actually highly probable, especially after this offseason and this transpiring situation that happened, that he leaves you, that he does not resign there. But again, he didn't come to LA to play basketball necessarily. He came to LA for his own personal reasons that he didn't describe to us. He didn't tell us. So I have no reason to believe he wants to leave. I don't know that he would sign for less money, but I don't think that LeBron James and Anthony Davis and all the guys would say, nope, we don't want Kawhi because of what he did 2 summers ago. I don't think so. And I don't think Laker Nation, I've seen Laker Nation welcome our worst enemies on our team. LeBron James, everybody hated LeBron James back in 2008. We couldn't stand LeBron James. We rooted against him. We laughed at him. We were some of the worst LeBron James haters in the world. Now look at us. He can do no wrong and he's the GOAT. Not named Kobe Bryant, he's the GOAT. It's him and Kobe and Magic, and we don't know nothing about no Michael and nothing out here. You see how this goes? Like, we're fickle in that way. We hated Karl Malone to our soul. He was something that made our skin crawl. And as soon as he got here, we loved him to death. He was a great power forward for us. Got us all the way to a Western Conference Finals before getting hurt. And he was a big part of that. Nobody remembers all that stuff. Nobody remembers all that. Now, he did have that situation with Vanessa, and you know Vanessa's royalty to us. So that situation left us feeling like F him anyway. To be honest with you, I think a lot of Laker Nation, if you ask them right now, we don't really mess with Karl Malone. But while he was playing for us, oh man, we welcomed him. We were happy to have him. Gary Payton, same thing. We're happy to have these guys. So it ain't no such thing as an enemy. When you put on our uniform, it's already been proven to me several times over. We're going to root for you. Even if we hated you for 15 years, you put on our uniform, we're going to root for you. This is something I wouldn't have said when I was about 9 years ago. I didn't see it this way. You couldn't have told me this. I'd have laughed at you. You lying. Or 11 years ago, rather. Whenever before Karl Malone situation. I would not have believed that. I'd have been like, man, you can't, I don't care what this fool put on. We ain't messing with him. He enemy? No. Nope. As soon as they put on a uniform and start sweating for the purple and gold, we're rolling. And a lot of times when you take it off, we're still rolling. Just like Rondo. Rondo gonna be loved here. You think he ain't gonna get cheered here? He gonna get cheered here. Dwight, same thing. We're gonna cheer him. We're gonna cheer our guys. You know what I mean? Especially if they played well and won a championship here. You getting cheered. For real. We're gonna think of you as a Laker. So, you know, with that being said, I would welcome Kawhi Leonard with open arms. Why? Because he's that good. He's that good. Now, will I ever forget what he did? Nah. Nah, there's a lot of skullduggery in that. But we got our pound of flesh too. Won a championship in their face, beat them beat them a lot. Was waiting there for them. They never showed up. Took their 6-man. They thought they was getting Rondo, trying to get us. Now we got y'all and you didn't get nothing from us. Yeah, all of that feels good. I'm glad they did what they did because the comeback, the comeuppance, it feels great. It feels better than the betrayal hurt. Thank you guys. You've added happiness to an already blissful offseason of championship glory. That's what I'll say. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44. I'm pretty sure I'll have more in terms of news and things to discuss about different teams because there's a lot to say. I'm interested in what the Pelicans are going to do now that they got Steven Adams. I think that brings an entirely different dynamic to their team. They may be lacking in some shooting, but they're definitely not lacking in strength. And they may have the strongest front court in all of basketball with Adams and Zion. Very curious to see how that works. And Steven Adams is a guy I said I want to see be traded to a contender. I don't know if New Orleans is his final landing spot. I don't know. I don't know what Derek Favors' situation is, if he's still on the books. They did draft a center with like the 9th pick in the draft or something like that last year. So they got a lot of bigs on that team, none of which are known for shooting the three. So they have some roster issues, but I do like some of the things that they have. I like some of the stuff that they had last year. We'll see what happens with Brandon Ingram. I think Charlotte would have been a great spot for him, but they gave some of his money to Gordon Hayward. They're just not thinking right. He's from North Carolina, fam. He's a free agent. He's like 22 years old. He just made an all-star team. You just picked up a guy who he played with the guy's brother. So someone who could tell, who knows LaMelo probably knows him. They know each other. Brandon Ingram and LaMelo Ball should be on the same team. What ends up happening with Brandon Ingram, I don't know. Can he demand supermax money? Yes, he can. Because the way I see it, he's better than De'Aaron Fox at this point. I like De'Aaron Fox, but I'm taking B.I. over him. And De'Aaron Fox just made 140, 60, whatever it was. Crazy money. So I assume that Brandon Ingram could get upwards of 120-something. Starting at 120-something after making an all-star team. So I don't know if the Hornets could afford him necessarily, but that was where I wanted to see him go. Why? For the reasons I just said, because he's from there, and it's hard enough getting guys to go to certain places. It's hard enough trying to get somebody to go to Charlotte. So when you find a guy from North Carolina, he gotta play for the Hornets. It's one of those things. So I'm kind of disappointed that the Hornets have given away so much money to Gordon Hayward, of whom I don't even know is going to be healthy. If he is healthy, you don't know how much he's going to give you. What kind of shape can he get in from here? It's just a lot, There's no question about his game. There's no question about his effort or even his athleticism for that matter, because he's always had all three. But those injuries have been bad, and Charlotte has been bad. So what exactly are we looking to accomplish by giving a guy who's past his prime, who can't help you win a championship, that much money? No. The Charlotte Hornets are trying to win now when they should be trying to tank another season or two. Because what you don't want to do is act like your roster is finished. Trade Malik Monk so the homie can get his number. Seriously. You don't like Malik Monk. Nobody likes Malik Monk in Charlotte. He has done nothing for that team, but be a disappointment. I'm not gonna disrespect the guy. I still think there's a lot of upside for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like he can't come to a good team, develop behind a guy like Phil Handy or something like that, and turn into a real star, or at least a real 3-point threat from all over the floor. But the reality is he ain't that yet. He hasn't developed into that yet. And Charlotte don't need to be waiting on him no more. If he has any value, he needs to be gone. Period. Michael, trade Malik. And while you're at it, trade Terry. Trade Terry Rozier. Yes. These are moves that Charlotte needs to make right now. Hernan Gomez, add him in there too. Do yourself a favor. Shop those dudes to Atlanta or something and go get Clint Capella. Shop those dudes somewhere and get you a legitimate center. Seriously, do it. I just wish I had opportunity to be in the war rooms with some of these GMs so I could give them some of my ideas. Because I do believe that a lot of stuff I say would make sense if it fits in the salary cap and all that stuff, which a lot of times, who knows? I don't know. I don't do the homework on that level. a lot of the times. But I have a general understanding if a guy can be fit into a salary cap. And most importantly, I have a very good idea of how you make a guy fit if he doesn't. So that's what it is. A lot of times guys just don't want to do the maneuvering. They don't want to make the sacrifices. They don't want to get rid of the picks to get rid of the salary. But you need to do those things so that you can clear up cap space, so you can put yourself in a position to get the players that would best fit what you're building. And so many GMs, of course, as I complain about a lot, don't know how to or don't do so. So whatever. Either way, that's something I want to see Charlotte just make some good decisions. Because as I've said as well, Charlotte really does have a fantastic brand. You know, people want to wear the Charlotte uniform, the color, that teal, that is very appealing. It's an appealing color. We want to wear it. People would wear the hats. They'd wear all your stuff, you know, because the colors are simply appealing. So it would be very, very, very wise for Michael Jordan to take the momentum from drafting LaMelo and having a good draft and move it in the direction of maybe putting yourself in a position to get some more young talent. Do some more things that'll help you get more more youth. That would be what I'd tell them. Get more youth, dog. You know, Gordon Hayward, no, it's not your answer. It's not your answer. Anyway, I have some other things I want to say, but I'm going to make it another video because this one's long enough. So thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44 and I'm out.